very much, Anna and Chris Larwood, in the studio this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice
Thanks.
to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks for
lovely to
inviting
be
us.
here. So nice.
I haven't seen you for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I know.
We used to see you at the North Adelaide. Let's give it a plug. Are you still there? The North Adelaide Yoga Centre?
Australian School of Meditation and
So
Yoga
yoga.
in North Adelaide, 20 Chapel Street. Yeah, lots of yoga and meditation programs there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I came across this practice of yoga and meditation. But if you just want to talk to the listener a little bit about meditation and a little bit about that chant and the chanting Gauranga and the meaning of Gauranga.
Yep.
Well, Gauranga is a mantra, so transcendental sound vibration. Gauranga means golden or golden one. So the idea with the mantras, it's just so powerful. It's more powerful than just silently meditating. So easy as well, because we all like to sing and chant and express ourselves in that way. So man is mind, tra to draw away. So we're drawing our mind away from other sounds and thoughts, and we're resting it in the transcendental sound. That's our focus.
So it's more calming. Is that because we are taking our mind away from our busy mind and focusing on the sound and
Yes.
the chant?
It is, and we're engaging our senses. So a lot of people, when they think of meditation, we think of shutting down our senses, but here you can see and appreciate that we're opening up our senses. We've got our ears hearing, our mouth speaking, so we're engaging our senses, and which helps us to focus even more.
And focusing the senses onto something transcendental or spiritual, so a spiritual sound as opposed to just a normal word or material
That's
sound
right.
vibration.
And the spiritual side of, some people say with meditation and yoga, what is it? What is the sort of, is it a religion? Is it part of Hindu? Is it its own thing? Can you just talk to us briefly about that?
Well,
The spiritual side of it?
The
Is
spiritual
it
side.
God? Is it what?
I mean, yoga really means union. So really yoga and meditation are really the same thing, not just the stretching yoga, that's part of the system, but that's not the whole. That's just the entryway into yoga, really. So it's a science of understanding more and more who you really are, that you're spirit, and the meditation allows you to uncover and rediscover your identity, and just unfolds like the beautiful diamond in a mountain. It's already a beautiful diamond, but we don't see it's covered up in the mountain. But the meditation allows that to open up and be covered and cleansed and cleared, and then you shine through, the true self shines through.
And I suppose it's about finding the balance between body, mind and spirit, isn't it? And sort of, I was going to say not focusing so much on our physical and body, but we need to nurture that too, don't we?
Yes.
Like with
Yeah.
food and,
Yes.
and being awareness of our
Yes.
senses. So we can't
Yes.
ignore that. Like we all want to focus on spiritual, but we're all of that, aren't we?
It's a package, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the mind and the body, that sort of, if you add meditation to your life and you are cultivating your spiritual essence, then it'll help with the mind and body as well. So we we need to look after our body, absolutely, and obviously the mind too. And this process helps so much with that, and helps us to find balance and understand our mind and how it works, and how to help with emotions and mental well-being and all that sort of thing.
That's right. It's really, I mean, I wouldn't say controlling the mind, but it's more sort of accepting the mind for how it works, like they say that even if we're in deep meditation, our mind is still probably got some thoughts there, but it's just how we sort of watch them go by and not attach to them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. Yeah, just sort of stepping back from the mind, and it's very difficult to stop the thoughts. Almost impossible for most people. But just stepping back from it and recognising it's there, but not sort of getting taken away with every little thought sort of thing, or emotion, or whatever's there.
Yeah. And we often hear sort of counsellors and therapists and psychologists saying the more with different sort of health, mental illness and conditions, we often hear them saying the more we try to control our thoughts, the worse it gets. You hear that with different conditions like OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, or different conditions. And they say to patients, don't try and change things, or don't try and control things, because the more you try, the worse it is. And so I think that sort of plays through with all this too, is that letting go or acceptance, not fighting it, but not being anxious, just say, okay, that's there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and having that ability, as we were saying, to step back from all that, and okay, here we go again, here's that anger, here's that depression, or whatever's passing through, and you take a step back and you're not so caught up in it and by it, and you can actually, from that point, make better decisions that are much more healthy and wholesome decisions, rather than just being swept away by that emotion and that emotion and that emotion. You know what I mean? Pull back And then when you pull back, then you can redirect into positive things such as meditation, etc. So yeah.
And how does breathing play into all this? Because, you know, we often hear people saying when people are stressed, oh, just take a deep breath. You know, it's all about the breath, isn't it?
It's important.
Yeah, it helps a lot on a very basic level to calm down the nervous system, that type of thing. Like even just simply stopping and taking a few breaths is so beneficial. I mean, there's lots of different pranayams and yoga breathing types, techniques you can learn, but it really, I mean, in our classes we teach the complete yoga breathing, so it's really just breathing from the lower, middle to the upper lungs and filling your lungs, and then just exhaling out of the upper, middle, then lower lungs, just slowly filling the lungs, because most people don't use their proper lung capacity. So yeah, simple things like that is very helpful for sure.
So when people are doing that sort of breath work, do they have to visualise it going from lower, middle, upper? Because I suppose that would help make the breath deeper, wouldn't it?
You can, yeah, if that helps, for sure. Yeah, or just thinking about actually filling those areas of your lungs, I think helps. I mean, and more just relaxing those areas, because we hold so much tension, around our chest, and that affects our breathing. And so, yeah, being a bit more conscious of how you're breathing, for sure.
Yes. In some of these yoga poses and practices, I've often heard them sort of say at the top of the breath, hold it for a bit before you exhale. Is there something in that too, sort of just holding it there?
Yeah, retention. Yeah, breath retention. As long as you're just comfortably holding it for a second or whatever's comfortable, that helps, because that brings your focus to your breath and just brings you to the present moment, kind of thing, and helps you focus on it. So that's really helpful too.
Is that also exhaling more toxins when you sort of hold at the top?
Yeah, it can help for sure. Yeah, detoxing and definitely letting the energy flow more freely, and lots of benefits just from breathing.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
But before we get into our next part of the segment, what do we do? Do we eat? Like I've often sort of heard different people saying it's good to sort of have an empty system when you're doing yoga, and I'm not sure if it's the same with meditation, but not do it on a full stomach, because then we feel a bit tired and sort of clogged up. Is it better to just have some water or something, a light meal half an hour before, or what's the theory there?
It's not as important with yoga asanas. It's more important to follow that sort of regime. But yeah, you don't want to be too stimulated. You don't want to be too having foods and drinks that make you go sleepy. You want to be in the middle there somewhere, so you can have a bit of focus.
But with meditation, I think, because it's difficult for people to get it in their life regularly, so don't be too worried about that for meditation. Just try and get it in there, even if it's 5 minutes, Ideally, you're not on a really full stomach or anything, but there's not really any rules when you can do meditation. It's always going to be good, especially the mantra meditation.
You do it when you can. When you've got some spare time,
That's it. Is there something people can do? I mean, I know we can't meditate while we're operating machinery or driving, and that's an obvious. We have to be aware and concentrate. But you hear people saying when they're driving home in peak hour traffic, it's busy, it's stressful, they do a little, not a meditation where they sort of switch off and they're not concentrating, but we can do some mindfulness. That's what I'm thinking. Is that something as well that you sort of believe in?
Going
quiet in those stressful times?
If you can. I mean, as you said, you have to focus in those situations. But I mean, for example, when we're driving, we have like a CD on with beautiful, transcendental sound in the background. So even if I'm not 100% focusing on it, it's just there in the background, still creating that energy and that vibe. And you know what I mean? So I'm still in a peaceful state, even if I'm not actively involved in it. That's an example, anyway.
Nice. All right. So can we go into our next component, and if you can just explain a little bit to us about what this is?
Do you want to start? So Chris is going to start off. We're just going to go through some.
Yeah, I was just thinking about doing a little like a mindfulness, very brief, and then from there we'll just have a place to focus upon, which will be the mantra, and I'll hand everybody over to Anna for that part. So we'll just work together and just guide you through it and just enjoy it, relax. If you can, close your eyes. If you can't, just relax in your own way, depending on what you're doing right now out there. But if you can, close your eyes, do that. And we're just going to put our awareness now onto our mind. So we are just watching our mind. What's playing on the movie screen of the mind? What's on the screen? What are you watching? What are you feeling? It could be a visual, but maybe it's a feeling or an emotion or something that's passing through your mind. It's in the forefront. It's the main thing right now. And then that'll pass through, and then something else will pass through continually. It's just like watching clouds pass by overhead, one thought after the other. And we can say within our mind, just quietly to ourselves, I'm the silent witness. I make no effort to think, but thoughts are automatically flowing through my mind. And I'm simply watching these thoughts as they pass by. But I'm separate from all this activity. I'm just watching as a silent witness. So we get a little appreciation of the separation between the self, the seer, the observer, the person, and their mind. We are the one watching our mind. We're the viewer. And if you like, you can just visualise that you're on the bank of a stream looking out at that water flowing by. You're separate from the water, you're watching from a distance. So similarly, we can watch the stream of mind stuff flowing by 24/7, even in dreams. It's going all day, all night. Sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we're not. This constant stream of thoughts. But there we are on the bank, looking out at the water flowing by, separate. We can choose to dive in, go with that thought, of course, but the point is, we don't have to. We have that ability, that power to pull back and just watch the thoughts go by. Now, from that point, watching this mindfulness, watching the thoughts, so we're kind of giving our mind a free rein, just one image after the next, one thought after the next, one feeling. Now, with meditation, it's about focusing the mind on something in particular. So let's move on now and give our mind a place to focus. And this will be breath, and this will be sound, transcendental sound.
So we're going to focus on the sound, the mantra Om Hari Om. So you're welcome wherever you are to join in. We're going to inhale together, and as we exhale, we'll say Om Hari Om, just as loud or soft as you feel comfortable with, or just listen. Just immerse yourself, your mind, everything in the sound. We'll just do that a few times, and we'll move on to our next meditation. So just taking a long breath in. Om
you very much. Very nice. Right, let me just put an extremely quick ad break on and we'll be back shortly, listeners. Right, just one quick ad and then we'll wrap it up. We'll say goodbye, or if there's anything else you want to share.
Relax this Friday from 9 p.m. till midnight and kick
Maybe
back
we'll
to
just
some smooth tunes.
mention the Harmonium, because I've never had one of them in the studio.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
an
first
amazing
time in
instrument.
like 6-year music show that I haven't seen one of those instruments. Like
Every Friday
show.
night
Yeah,
from 9
it's
p.m.
an
till
Indian
midnight.
instrument.
Indian.
Yeah,
Only live
traditional
chill out radio
Indian
event
style. It's what they use in
Yeah.
their charting and everything.
with your
Is that heavy?
Yeah, it's quite heavy,
Oh,
but
okay.
I mean, a lot of people have them now in Australia too. It's becoming a bit more popular as people get into this stuff.
So you can't like lean it up, can you? So you can see, not really.
Some of them you can fold into a suitcase. Like traditionally, they fold into the suitcase.
Yeah.
And I heard
see.
that they would carry them out to the field so they can do their prayers and everything. I've heard that, yeah.
Okay. So just so they can see here, we're still on an ad break, but if you could just tilt it or something like that.
Turn it like
Yeah,
that.
they can see that. Perfect. Beautiful. And all the little bits and pieces at the front.
Different sounds, and I mean, I just keep it on a fairly standard, but you can have like a drone sound and
More bass, more
different.
treble.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just go over that a little bit, so we've just got a couple minutes left.
Okay.
So we'll jump on in 20 seconds. And if you want to share any of the classes or anything, are you still doing the turmeric and ginger capsules?
Not so much.
Or
Do-
is
we
there
could
anything you
talk
want to
about
share?
the deep piece and just
Yeah.
mention the kirtans.
Yeah, just mention
Do you want to share any other?
Like
You
the
do any other
website?
business thing? Don't you do some Ayurveda?
Ayurveda.
Yeah, I do Ayurveda. I never got back to you about.
Yeah.
Did you
Thank
still
you.
want to do a segment on that?
Yeah, I would.
I'll have a look at the dates and let you know. But
Um,
I'm not. I mean, yeah, I'm not. It's not a really big scale thing at this stage, but it's just kind of.
Have you got a business that you want to plug
Yeah,
on there?
I mean, I do have a Facebook page. I
Yeah,
could.
feel free to, community radio, you can sort of, it's supporting all things positive, so if you want to share
Yeah,
anything like
thank
that,
you.
go for it. But we can still get that turmeric, can't we?
Yeah, I mean, I still do sell a couple of, yeah, I can get it, yeah. I can still sell it.
Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. We've got Anna and Chris Larwood in the studio. We're talking a little bit about yoga and a bit more about meditation. So we've come to the end of the program, but I just do want to mention a couple of things because we do have just a few minutes left. The harmonium, if you can just talk to us a bit about that.
Yeah, so this is a traditional Indian instrument. It's played with where you sort of pump the air with this back part, and it's just played like a keyboard, really. And yeah, it's traditionally used for kirtan and prayers and meditations in India, but people are starting to you see them over in the Western countries now. I think I did hear that because some of them fold into a suitcase, you can carry it around. I did hear they, traditionally would be taken out to the fields and they could still chant and stuff. So it's a beautiful instrument to play. Yeah, it's really nice vibration and stuff.
And a few of the little buttons at the front, what do
Yeah,
they do?
so they're just different effects. I don't actually use them
Treble
that much,
and
but
bass.
yeah, you can add a drone sound to it, or it's really just you can take some of to make it easy if you want it quieter or louder, or but I'm not actually an expert on what each one does because I just sort of play it with this on a standard setting.
Can you give us a little demo of something? A few different various options that we can hear?
Yeah, so the drone. Oh, that's the coupler. There you go. So that just adds another effect to that part. What else we got? Oh, that's the drone thing.
Don't use that one
I
much.
don't really like that sound.
It's a bit alien space-like or something.
Turn that one off. Louder or softer, or
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's a nice instrument to play.
But then, yeah, so while you're doing that, you can only, play on
Yeah,
one hand, unless you've got
you need
someone
to,
else
you need
there
to adjust
putting
that
their hand
before you
Before, yeah.
before you start.
Oh,
you
so
can't-
when you pull it out, it doesn't adjust it as you're going.
No, you have to be, because you've got one hand's playing, one hand's pumping.
Pumping,
Yeah.
pumping, yeah.
So, and if you take your hand off,
Yes.
I mean, I guess you could keep pumping and, change one if you wanted to get really.
Or a couple of people could play it then,
No.
like both of you. Have you tried that?
Oh no, actually my daughter,
Yeah,
my
daughters.
daughter, she used to pump this
Oh.
for me while I'd play the.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, she can play it herself now though.
How old are your children now?
They're 10 and 6 now.
10 and 6.
Yeah, growing up.
Are they into all
Yeah,
meditation,
yeah.
yoga?
One's playing keyboard,
they
one's
come
playing
along
violin.
to
and
meditation. And,
I love
Gauravani
meditation.
joins in with her violin now with the kirtan.
She plays violin.
Yeah, she's
Mm.
really good.
Doing
Yeah, she's
quite
done a
well.
couple of exams, but she's also learning to freestyle with kirtan, like just play around chords, and it sounds really nice.
a bit of guitar as well.
And she is part of the yoga school. She'll do
She
some
comes
She
along,
helps
yeah.
out,
but
yeah.
to play the
Yeah,
instruments.
she's just
Yeah.
started playing
Yeah,
there.
she's part of it.
Yeah,
Mm.
which is really nice. Yeah.
Gee, that must be really calm children having calm parents like you.
Not all, we have our moments.
That's it. But generally speaking. Very nice. That's awesome. Anything else you'd like to share? I understand you. We can possibly get some health product from
Oh,
you and
yeah.
something else from you.
Yeah,
Anna?
look, I've been selling organic turmeric for a few years in capsule forms, which is really good for anti-inflammatory and antioxidant and just good for digestion, and we can definitely get that organicturmeric.com. And Anna's got a bit of something to say.
So I practice Ayurvedic medicine. So I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, and I have a Facebook page. It's Sadhana Therapies or Sadhana Ayurvedic Therapies.
Can you
so
just spell that for us?
Yes, Sadhana is Sadhana,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ayurvedic is Ayurvedic, and then therapies, the word therapies. And I might be talking a little bit more about Ayurveda
I'd
sometime.
like to.
Yeah, so we'll.
I've really got
Time
into
for
it
that.
because I
Mm.
interviewed Dr. Paul Bosco.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Dr. Bosco's a
We
friend.
you know Bob,
Oh,
know
you know,
Right, yeah.
would you say
He's lovely.
neighbour?
No,
we know him just through Ayurveda, and
Yeah.
he used to live close by. He's a little bit further now, but yeah, that's nice that he was.
Yeah.
He's a nice man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's lovely. Well, I interviewed him a couple of months ago, and since then, I feel like my world's changed. It's all about that.
Yeah.
When I'm eating dinner, I talk to my husband, Ayurveda, and we've got to eat with the hands too.
Uh-huh.
I put all the forks and
Oh, really?
the knives away. I said, you've got to connect with the food, and he's not used to it yet. He's still using the fork, but I said, the food tastes different when you use your hand.
Because you start digesting it when you touch it with your hands,
Oh,
so it helps
exactly.
with the whole part of the digestive process. And there's lots of little things like that you can add to your life. You know, it doesn't have to be like you change everything, but
Exactly.
some really basic principles that can help. Yeah.
And also we've started doing filling up a jug of water the night before, letting it sit,
Okay.
and then drinking that water
Mm.
because I heard, is it Sadhguru? He's, you know, that, I don't know if you've seen this quite popular gentleman who talks about Indian philosophies and ancient wisdom practices, Sadhguru, Sadguru, and he talks about neem. You know,
Okay.
neem. Have you heard of
Yeah,
that?
neem's
Like
very-
making neem
yeah.
balls from powder
Yeah,
and
it's very
water.
medicinal. Yeah.
And he said, don't drink the water straight from the tap
Mm.
because it's travelled through pipes and it's got this sort of, not metallic taste, but it's just been activated and the molecules are going a little bit bananas. And when that goes in our system, it doesn't do the best things for us, as opposed to if you put the water in a jug the night before, cover it, put a little flour on it, something, say a little prayer on it, you know, good intentions to the water, like charge the water with good energy, but just mainly letting it sit. And the water tastes so different because I actually accidentally got a bit of water straight from the tap, and I said to my husband, oh, is it just me? Is it in my mind like psychosomatic, or does that taste bad? And he tried it. He said it tastes bad. It never used to for us. So our taste buds are used to this beautiful, clean water now.
Oh yeah, and also, I mean, we don't drink water straight from the tap anyway. Like like a water filter or
Filter.
something,
Oh,
which
you-
with
oh,
the same idea, I
Yeah.
guess.
So it's sitting there for a long time.
But did you want to just mention ASMR
Oh, no,
as well?
well, I just wanted to encourage everybody to try and add meditation to their life to whatever degree, whether it's 5 minutes a day or more. Just add something like this to your life and you'll just feel more balanced and calm and peaceful, and how you deal with situations, deal with people, there'll be a change, there'll be a positive change, so you'll feel better about yourself and you'll be more peaceful and satisfied and happy within. So thoroughly recommend it.
And if you're not anywhere near North Adelaide, which is where a lot of the programs are from the Australian School of Meditation Yoga, there's also ASMY TV, which is a whole amazing, lots and lots of online classes and meditation, and you just look up ASMY TV and there's people from all around Australia that have, kind of, put up classes there.
Australian School of Meditation and Yoga, they're all around Australia. It's just volunteers coming together. It's a community service, and out of love for the practice and care for other people. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's such a fascinating thing, isn't it? It's all embodied. It's a holistic thing, isn't it? All eating well and yoga and meditation, the whole thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's complete practice. Yeah, mind, body, and spirit. Everything's taken care of.
I'd like to talk more because I'm just mindful of the time. I've gone over a bit, so I've really got to go. That was my fault. Sorry, I was getting a bit chatty here. But I'd love to talk to you about this more.
For sure. Yeah.
Thank you both for coming in.
Thanks for
Thanks,
inviting
Bianca.
us.
Thanks so much.
It's been
Thank you.
nice.
You're welcome.
Namaste.
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 Bless.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks so much. Let me just throw this on.
Every Saturday
Perfect.
night here on TBA FM, you can take an expedition into the musical world of
Bianca.
progressive rock.
Oh yeah, that usually stays on for another 30 seconds, so we can say goodbye. Or any last plugs that we couldn't do here, if there's anything else you want to share. We like to share away here.
Thank you. Lots of sharing, yeah.
Lots of
Well, I
sharing.
mean, I think you can't share ASMR enough because it's a pretty amazing place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And there's programs in the hills, in the Adelaide Hills, and North Adelaide, and anywhere else in Adelaide.
Online though,
Well,
if you're too far away, lots of stuff online.
Yeah, Chris
Australian
does a
School of
class at the
Meditation
Walkerville
Yoga.
Library, yoga
Walkerville Library,
meditation on a Tuesday night,
Yeah.
and a guided deep peace in North Adelaide. And we've got lots of yoga classes there, lots of different teachers, and it's just a really nice place. Different workshops and Ayurvedic workshops and day retreats.
Really?
And there's a hike,
Walks
yoga,
and hikes
meditate,
and-
nourish events that are on at the moment. If you look at the Facebook page and the website, you'll see all the events going on. There's lots of stuff going on. So.
Yeah, and can you just give the website and Facebook page again?
So it's Australians
ASMY.org.au
ASMY.org.au and just go to locations to find
.org.au.
North Adelaide. Or you can find ASMY TV by just looking that up, ASMY. Just Google ASMY TV. We can find that through our website. So.
How much are the workshops?
It depends what it
different?
is. Some of them are, like a lot of the meditation's free. If it's a day workshop, it's tried to be kept because it's a not-for-profit organisation.
Yeah.
So try to just cover
$20
expenses kind of
or
thing.
something.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
I think the day retreat might be 50. It's actually coming up on Sunday. There's a couple of spots left if anyone wants to
Sunday
book
for
in.
what
The
specifically?
day retreat. So
Day
it's an
retreat.
urban day retreat with meditation, yoga, and a little Ayurvedic
Nice.
workshop and
And
beautiful
talk
lunch
and-
and
yeah.
kirtan and
Just a holistic day.
reset day, autumn reset retreat I think it's called.
It's like another world, isn't it? That's how I feel. I mean, I haven't been for a while, but it's like a different space. As soon as you walk into the building in North Adelaide, you just forget about everything else, and it's like now it's time to get real.
Yeah, for sure. It's an amazing place, and you can take that with you too, and
Of
just try and
course.
incorporate it in your life, and
All the time, yeah.
You should come back soon.
I'm going to now. And I've got it now. The seed has been replanted. Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste.